Hi, Kevin Blanche. Today I'm going to discuss third generation America. My whole PhD study, it's called Post-Ignorance, all done with it, but I'm going to talk about it. And what made me think a lot about this was this, the book and the whole Chinese issue that's come about, and this so-called tiger mother and everything. What a freaking joke. It makes me laugh. It really makes me laugh that somehow America all these people, that this Chinese mother is some novelty in America and we never raised like this. Let me tell you. I'm going to tell all of you. And men my age, all you guys out there that watch my videos my age, and or women, you know how we were all raised. Look, I grew up in Utah on a ranch with a Special Forces Marine father. And I know how men were raised and boys were raised all over here on these ranches, all over America, and females. You think this strict parenting is something new? You're dreaming. I would love these Chinese to come over here and go through the way we were raised. You guys out there know how we got raised? Look, when I was a little boy, it was up at 5 a.m. working on this ranch, working on this farm, freaking sun up till sundown. Go to school. We ate a specific time, exactly noon. Assigned seats. Plus, you went to church every Sunday with your grandparents and sit there with your mouth shut. I mean, that's the way we got raised in America. We all know that. And there was a lot of very abuse. To whip a boy, hit a boy, and or girl abuse. It was freaking popular practice in this country. My father was not abusive whatsoever. I mean, he would bark, whatever. I didn't go, but I seen everybody else that did go through it. So this is not something new. It's just the generation now in America, yeah, they grow up a completely different way. But our generation, I'm 50, you guys out there know. You guys, every one of you's got this story. Like I said, I used to get up at 5 a.m. Our school's almost 20 miles away on the bus. That's how America grew up. I was up at 5 a.m., we'd feed cows, we'd do all our chores, come home, get showered up, get dressed, on the long bus ride to freaking school. Do your schoolwork. If you played sports, which I did, later you didn't get home till late, change your clothes, back on the farm. And in the summer, all summer long, you hauled hay, you hoed beets, sun up to sundown. From this big. I was driving trucks and tractors at 6, 7 years old. All these boys out here were. Everybody. And the girls, it was the same routine with the moms. I mean, they were taught to can fruit, they were freaking sewing, they were cleaning, they were working outside. So this whole thing kills me. It is third generation America. In my PhD study, as I went through this whole thing, my thesis as I started out was that America is neo-ignorant. And I wanted to try to quantify why. Why are we so pathetic in our idealism? And I had an opinion that, everybody hates Congress and hates the Senate. And I truly knew before I even went into this study that politicians are nothing more than the voice of you and I. And I understood this. Look, our forefathers, when they put this thing together, when they devised this, the 60 vote in the Senate, the Congress every 2 years ago, the lesser house versus the House, the 3 branches of government, the checks, how magnificent of a system. They devised a system that is so reflective of the general population, it is unbelievable. The bodies of our politicians reflect us to a T. I love it when I hear all these people go crazy about politicians. Look, it is the aggregate popular opinion. Look, okay, so let's talk about our money. I have the third generation concept in mind. Okay, Barack Obama gets elected. Everybody's thinking change. Not one single thing has changed. Not one single thing. Is it Barack Obama's fault? No. He can't do it. It is popular opinion. You think he didn't try? Congress and the Senate, Congress shut him down. Well, why did Congress shut him down? Because they have to run for re-election. They're contingent. It is popular opinion. So as I went in, there's why. Why? I tried to quantitate all this, and I talk about a lot about history and the evolution of the 30-year cycle. And as I went through this thing, I did a lot of quantitative studies. I got studies from all over the country that are very in-depth, good studies. This is not just, as I like to say, one of my quotes I like to say, this is not a commentary, this is documentary. So as I poured through it and realized that I was right when I went in. My thesis was that that Congress and the Senate are the voice of you and I, to a T, to a T. Okay, so why are we in the mess? I went into the average American is plain stupid. is plain neo-ignorant in the aggregate. My study's all done. What I thought is the truth. Now why? There's a lot of reasons why. There's people that say it's the food chain. There's people that say that it's the long work week, which I break it down to economics. We're broke. The working class American are broke. They're working 65 hours a week. They're stressed out freaking wrecks. They have to get their news off a 10-second soundbite. And everybody wants to blame the media. Well, the media's just feeding us what we want. Suck it up. It is popular opinion. So I started thinking about the third generation. You know, the Chinese adverb has said this for years. I have plenty of friends. We grow up in third generation businesses around here. And I have a really close friend that he was a third generation major construction wealth, and he gave me a book on third generation wealth a long, long time ago, and I read it, and that's the reason he sold it. I think it really is third generation America. Our grandparents, my grandparents, the baby boomers' grandparents, grassroots guys, you know, farmers, most of them, small businessmen, came from nothing, usually immigrants. Here in Utah, they were early Mormon immigrants from the slums of Glasgow, Scotland, or from London, everything, with nothing, with absolutely nothing. And they started something. And most of them died young, 50, 60 years, heart attacks, but they started something. They had a snowball here. They had plenty of natural resources to work with. They had lots of things to grab onto, and the chance of making something work, there was tons and tons of opportunity here in the U.S. Okay? The second generation comes along. Usually one person in that family, somebody in that family, grew it even bigger and bigger, to where it was worth a lot of money. Okay, he watched his father struggle. He watched his father, or she, or their mother, struggle in this situation. Here comes the baby boomer generation. We're feeling good after the war. We overcome freaking evil Hitler. We overcome all this madness. So here comes third generation. They're spoiled. They don't know what it feels like to freaking work hard. Don't know whatever it is. As they get older, they have money. They don't have to develop their business. Yeah. A lot of us grew up really hard, but when we got older, I didn't, but a lot of people did. They inherited business, they inherited wealth, and I think that is in the aggregate America. Look, I think about it, I think it really comes down to this third generation cycle. And the baby boomers, they're so spoiled, they want it all. They don't want to pay for anything. I mean, this whole concept that we're going to fight a 9-year war that costs hundreds, trillions of dollars, literally trillions of dollars, and we won't pay for it. So, as my study concluded, and this is not my whole conclusion, but I think it is a big part of it. You know, and I wrote my book in a poetic style, in a more artistic style, because I'm an artist, I'm an economist, I'm a historian. I've been working on this for a long, long time. And I call it Post-Ignorance, the blowjob that changed the world. People see the blowjob that changed the world, automatically think it's in satire. It is not in satire. This is a very, very serious quantitative study and a look at American culture over the last 30 years, and us in the mirror. You know, and I use myself in the book as a reflection, but I really go into the 90s, you know, on the dot-com bubble, which emerged right here. You know, WordPerfect, Novell, Omega, you know, my experiences on Wall Street, my experience with money, my experience socially, and what we've become. But as far as change goes, I think as in our wealth, all you really have to do look at the dollar. You look at the dollar, and that will show you that absolutely nothing has changed. Look, before Barack Obama was elected, we fooled everybody by weakening the dollar, and we inflated our way out. Real wealth had, and I pour this into my book, I break it right down to how real wealth has been smashed 80%. But as the markets stay at the same level, everybody thinks, oh, we're at the same level. But they don't realize how weak that money in their pocket has become. You know, these things aren't worth anything. I mean, the dollar-euro is the best freaking thing to look at. It's $1.36. So has it really changed? No. Wall Street's still in power. Corporate America's still in power. We said, no, they don't have to pay taxes. The tax rate has been lowered from 94% to 35% on millionaires over the last 50 years. And we keep going lower and lower and lower. But is it Barack Obama's fault? Nope. Is it a politician's fault? Nope. Is it senators? No way. It's American popular opinion in the aggregate. Look, they tried to let the Bush tax. Look, 3 years ago to today, you think anything's changed? Not one single thing has changed. Nothing. Nothing has changed. It is the status quo. Yeah, we were imploding, no doubt. We had a real chance in this country, a real chance to redefine us as a people. We had a chance to strip the powers away from Wall Street that we have built up for 30 years. We had a chance to take all this corruption, these crooked mortgage brokers, and put them in jail. We had a chance to make people accountable for the lies of Iraq. Did we? No. We didn't do any of that. None of it. We went right back. Yeah, we saved the freaking meltdown on Wall Street. We didn't save the meltdown in freaking America. And I hate to say this because I've never agreed with this man on anything in my life. You know, I've always thought he was kind of a scam artist. You know, playing games with bankers or whatever, but I totally agree with everything he says now. Donald Trump, I agree with every word he says. He's right on this thing. He knows. Look, we are the same thing we were exactly 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. This all changed. This changed with the theft of the election in 2000. I don't care if you're on the right or left. That's when it changed. It changed. And these wars. I mean, you can draw a line right from the dollar-euro. I mean, we were at 70, 80 cents. I went to a meeting with the legendary finance Clyde Cooley. And we listened to Greenspan speak and his blah, 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 which was all total bullshit. He would just, I loved it. He would spew and spew and spew and spew and spew and spew, and everybody would say, they didn't understand a freaking word he said. And then write what a genius he was. He used to kill me. I used to think, oh my God, this guy's pathetic. He's an Ayn Rander, please. He's basing his whole economic philosophy on science fiction writer. That's all in my book, too. I go in depth into it. Well, the EU, head of the EU bank, spoke the next week. We went to it. He said, verbatim, I was in Manhattan when he spoke, and he said this: we hope someday to have the euro equivalent to the dollar. 80 cents, it was lurking around there. Boom. $1.60. We're at $1.36. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Our currency is still extremely, extremely weak. Okay, yeah, the Dow's 11,000. So what if the dollar's sitting there like this? Our money has no power. Next time you travel, go to a national park. Go to Manhattan. Go anywhere. Chuck full of Europeans. And the Japanese, because the yen's so strong, they could travel. We can't. So nothing has changed. Is it Barack Obama's fault? Is it politicians' fault? No. Is it popular opinion Americans' fault? Yes. Kevin Blanch, January 2010. My resume will be up later next week. Go Bears. This is original. This ain't no fake. This is the real deal. Butkus.